Welcome everybody. In this week's video, I want to do a brief introduction on why. Why I'm here. Why am I doing all this. And to keep it pretty short, I just wanted to give back to people. Little history about me is why I want to do a nonprofit, and I'll start with there, is to give back to, those kids between the grades of 3 and 6. Why? Really easy. Because I remember when I was in the 6th grade, I went and tried out for baseball. Never played baseball. My dad will always tell you this funny story about me when he was trying to get me into t-ball, and I didn't know how to interact with other kids, and I didn't want to give up the bat, and I swung at the coach because he was trying to take the bat. And yeah, funny story now, but I kind of wish I would have, acted a little better, because when I finally decided, I'm going to go pursue baseball, I was so behind the curve. I didn't know how to bat. I didn't know the proper, plays. Most embarrassing thing is that when I played baseball, my dad and my mom went to see me a few times, and one of those incidents was that I didn't know what to do when there was a pop fly. So made it to second base. There's a pop fly. The batter got taken out. I didn't know I had to tag up. Didn't tag up. Got taken out. Embarrassing. But it kind of also made me feel like I wish I would have known. I didn't know. Like later on, thankfully, a couple of the players taught me more, realized that I didn't really know a lot. So I was surrounded by a group of kids at that time in 6th grade that also helped me pick up and learn quickly in that experience. And I figured, why not help those kids that don't have the ability to join sports outside of school? Help them develop some, experience when they finally get to school and they can participate in school sports. Hey, they have the experience, they have the confidence, and they don't have to learn by like how I learned with that mistake. Luckily, there was no social media. It was back in the day before technology was this advanced. And the last thing you want to do is looking out for those little kids so they don't get embarrassed, or they don't get put on whatever social media, made fun of and bullied and stuff like that because they didn't know. And why not help them the only way I know how to help them, and is through a nonprofit, and help them join teams and sponsor kids to be able to join teams, and provide that financial assistance to parents that want to have their kids in sports but just financially and not able to. And that's the purpose behind what led me to creating my business. I've worked in different industries: payroll, accounting, management, assistant manager, 8 years in the Marine Corps in administration. So I had a lot of skills, a lot of leadership, and I figured, why not take everything that I know and start working for myself? So an opportunity presented itself, and I just started doing it. I'm still at the beginning stages, and I can say it's been the happiest I've ever been. I have the support of my wife, my family, and it's a great experience to know that I have all this experience and I haven't failed. Made some beginner mistakes because of how much the industry has changed as far as sports cards go, and knowing the difference and when to buy and when not to buy, which I will be documenting in other videos, is that experience. But just wanted to give a little bit of an introduction of who I am, why I'm doing it, and it is always to give back, help sponsor kids, take the money that I do make off my business and sponsor this. Ultimately, the long-term goal is to be able to manage my nonprofit 100% and have full teams like soccer, baseball, basketball, and have one team for each sport, and help develop these younger kids to get into other teams, and just give them a place to where they feel comfortable and feel like they can make the mistakes, and help build them up and become the next, maybe the next superstar, who knows. and that's just me wanting to give back, wanting to help others, and wanting to help that next business owner. Like, and that's another reason I want to help people make that decision, because it took me years before I finally, why am I not taking this chance? And I finally got out there and decided to make that chance and take control. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but every accomplishment has come with its own set of motivation and adrenaline rush, because it's like I did it, I accomplished that hurdle. Now what's my next challenge? How can I keep pushing myself? And accomplishing those hurdles is just, it's, I can't explain it. It is a great feeling knowing and being able to look at myself and be like, I did that, I made it happen. No one else. But it's also, I have failures, but I look at those failures and ask myself, what did I do wrong? What can I learn from it? And how can I move forward and progress? So that's just a little quick introduction on me, a little bit more about me. I love the Dallas Cowboys. Favorite baseball team is the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm not gonna lie, I do have a preference for the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. My other NFL teams, I'm gonna always be a diehard Cowboys fan, but I do like the Raiders for Ashton Genty, and I do like the Denver Broncos because of Bo Mix. So just a little bit more about me. Do expect more content. Gonna try and do better at posting at least once a week. Goal is to at least post 3 times a week. But hopefully this reaches somebody that gets motivated to make a change. Instead of working for others, work for yourself. And if you ever have any questions on what worked for me, what didn't work for me, feel free to reach out, comment, and I will do my best to answer every single question that comes across my page, honestly and transparently. And hopefully one day I can finally post that video where I created my nonprofit, because that's my goal. And so yeah, I appreciate you stopping by. Always want to leave one thing is, never be afraid to give it a shot, because even if you fail, there's something you learn from that failure, and it's how to get back up. And that's, we're all here. I support this community and love this community, and let's make a legacy, like my name says, Legacy Rich. My point is to leave a legacy behind of helping others and helping the next person start their business, helping that next kid achieve his goal of playing the sport. And that's what it's all about. So hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day, and as always, let's try and help one another.